Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to make a card using the new colour range from Tim Holtz. It is called Salvaged Patina and it arrived in the shop this week, so I couldn't help but jump on here and make something for you. It's a different technique. The stamps we'll be using is Butterfly Girl 2 from Rubber Dance. The words are from Think Again, and I'm using some stars and a heart. Okay, I'll just shift everything out of the way here and I'll take you down to the table. All right, you'll need an acrylic block. You'll need a piece of card and of course the inks. I like to mix my inks and use Distress and Oxides together. All I'm doing at the moment is going around the edge of the acrylic block, keeping the centre clear of ink. Then I'm going to get my water. I'm holding my hand here so that the water doesn't go into the centre of the block, because I really just want to beat up the Distress ink itself. The Salvaged Patina is a beautiful, beautiful colour. It's almost green and it's almost blue. It's a combination of both. All depends on what card you do it on. I'm using white card because I like how the colours are really bright. Now you centre your acrylic block and pop it down, and straight away you can see the water starting to spread. If you add pressure, it spreads a little bit more. Let it sit for a few seconds, let the ink go into the card, and then we're going to lift the acrylic block off, and it's like ripping off a band-aid. So here we go, just like that. And then clean your block, because we're going to use that again. I'll quickly dry that and show you. And then just dab any wet areas, because that sometimes gives you really interesting marks as well. When you're dabbing with paper towel, remember to keep turning it around, because when you pick up the ink and you put it back down again, you could be putting marks back down. So by turning the paper towel, you're just lifting the ink off. And this is how it's looking so far. Pretty cool, isn't it? So quick and easy to make a background. We'll do the same thing with oxides. Just a little bit of oxide in a couple of areas. I don't want to go over all of where I've already got the ink. Okay, wipe the water off the craft sheet, because I'm going to put my card there. Now this is probably the hardest part of the whole technique. It's putting the acrylic block back down where it was before. And let it sit, and then rip off like a band-aid. Just because you have oxides and you have Distress inks, there's no need to think you have to use them separately. You don't. You can use them together. And again with the paper towel, just in case there are any damp areas, remembering to turn after you dab. Just tilt that in the light to see where the shiny bits of water are, and dab it again. And dry it off one more time just to make sure. If your card starts to curl up, just turn it over and add a little heat to the back, and that will straighten it back down again. So this is how our card is looking at the moment. Isn't that a gorgeous colour? Beautiful, beautiful colour. Really impressed with this new ink from Distress. Now we're going to also add a little black soot. What I want to do is create a bit of a frame so it's not quite so blue. But the frame that I want, I only want it up here and down this corner here. So on my acrylic block, when I stamp it when I stamp it, that means I'm going to be inking the opposite corners, if that makes sense. I'll show you. So because I want the black to go into the top left corner and the bottom right, I'm actually adding the black soot oxide to the opposite parts of my acrylic block. Again, holding my hand there, spritz it up just lightly, don't need to add a lot. There's a little bit too much black, I can wipe it off quite easily. And any other areas that I don't want it to be. And of course, wiping the water off my craft sheet. Now when I turn it over, the black will go where I want it to go. And again, the hard part is putting it back down where it was before. This will give it a lovely grungy look. And then rip it off like a band-aid. Cleaning your acrylic block and drying your card. And turning it over and flattening the card out. Okay, this is what we have so far. Doesn't that make a beautiful frame? Now, the other thing that I'm going to do with this card is make a butterfly girl. So to do that, I'm going to use Distress ink, and Distress Oxide on my craft sheet. Now I want to show you this because this looks absolutely amazing. I'll just get everything off the craft sheet so I can show you. I don't know if you can see the difference. That's the oxide and that's the Distress ink. The Distress ink has a definite green tinge and the Distress Oxide has a blue tinge. Absolutely amazing. Now, bead up the inks with a little water, grab your card, and we're just dabbing into a couple of areas and drying as we go. I'm not wanting to cover the whole card. All I want to do is make some marks on the card. So, just to get some interesting droplets happening like that. Just keep dabbing and drying. Now you can do this as much as you want until you're happy with it. Don't be too fussy for this particular card. I hope you give it a go because it's a really nice technique. So simple, so easy. So we have lots of white areas with interesting little marks. So that is exactly what we are after. Now all I have to do is get my butterfly girl, put her on my acrylic block, and I'm stamping her with VersaFine Clear ink. Nocturne, this one's called. These are all products that I have in my shop. If you're after VersaFine Clear ink, I'm slowly building my range. Now I want to stamp her so that she has a lot of white areas on her. I don't want her to all be blue because once I pull her on my card, there's going to be too much blue. So I might go there. And hold it for 10 seconds. Remember, you always hold it for 10 seconds to allow time for the ink to transfer onto your card and lift. And that's how she's looking. So I've only got speckles going through that image. You dry that off, cut it, and you end up with that. I did one earlier because it takes me about 10 minutes to cut the butterfly girl out because I'm so slow. So I just went ahead and did that. Back to our background that we made earlier. I'm going to get the words from Think Again, and they say, when you follow your dreams, when you follow your heart, the journey becomes the destination. And they're gorgeous words. Again, inking it up. You can use other inks if you want. I'm using this one because it's the juiciest one that I've got. You can use archival, you can use black soot, Distress Oxide, because that stamps beautifully. Now the placement of the words, I want it to go off the edge. I don't want it inside the lines. So just, again, hold it down for about 10 seconds. It's a medium to firm pressure, and I'm not rocking and rolling because I don't want to have a double image, especially with words. Release and lift. And that's how it's looking so far. We'll dry that quickly. Like that. Put those words out of the way. Now, what I thought I might do, just bear with me, is grab a mask from the Hills, the Acetate Hills masks from Lavinia, because I have some interesting shapes. I want to create a bit of a landscape. So I will use my Distress ink and a 1-inch blending tool. And I'm going to put some hills into the background. And gentle, light as a feather, circular motions going along the hill. Just be careful you don't go over the edge of that inked area that you've worked so hard to make. There we go, just like that. Nice gentle circles. And we'll put another lot of hills down here. And it's the same thing again. Gentle circles. If you wanted to, you could use a different colour. I just thought it would be nice to have tone on tone and build up the tones like that. And over that way. Take the mask off. And that's our landscape background that we've made quite quickly with the Distress ink. This is how the card is going to look, once I put it all together. Do you like that? Nice and simple. The landscaped part makes her look like she's flying, but because it's so blue, I thought what might be fun to do is to dangle a heart. And to do that, whoops, I better stamp the heart first. And I want a red heart. The reason is red is the opposite colour on the colour wheel to blue. Make sure there's no ink on the edge because we only want the heart to stamp out. I just run my fingers around. If you like, you can use a paper towel. And I'm going to stamp a heart right there. I've used Elements Inks Paprika as my colour of choice today. This is it so far. See how it just pops on the blue? And that's solely because it's the opposite colour on the colour wheel. I'm going to just squiggle a line down there, draw a bow, and I'll show you what the card will look like. And that is our Butterfly Girl card for today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you grab an acrylic block. You can use any acrylic block. You might have ones with wavy lines around the edge. You can do it with smaller blocks or larger blocks. I just cut the card down to suit the size of the block that I've got, so I don't start with a specific sized card to start with and then stress about what block am I going to use. I choose the block, then I can cut down and make sure it sort of looks like that. Oh, what we could do also, Rubber Dance also have all these other interesting little bits in their sets. You never just get 1 or 2 stamps, you always get extra bits. I thought it might be nice to add a few stars. just here and there. Don't have to go overboard. It's just an extra little detail. I could go off onto the white area too. So up here, like that. Put the girl back on and show you what she looks like. And there's your finished card. I'll mount this and show you at the end in the graphic at the start of YouTube what the card looks like when it's all mounted up. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep an eye out next weekend. I've got another couple of tutorials coming your way. One of them is a Stampscape tutorial. That'll go for about 19-20 minutes. And I've got a Lavinia tutorial coming your way next weekend as well. And this one goes for about 22-23 minutes. So please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on all the different things that are coming your way. Until next time, keep crafting. Bye for now.